Hi, Jennifer, welcome. If you could just please write your name on the chat so I could take attendance. Thank you. So, hi guys. So welcome to Self Motivation. My name is Miss Maria Tejada. If I haven't met any of you had any session with any of you. I know I had some with a few of you, but if I haven't, hello, and thank you so much for being here. So let's start the workshop. So can anybody like tell me what do they think like self-motivation means or what it means to them? Please feel free to unmute yourself.
Um, I feel that self-motivation is the act of pushing oneself forward.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Dagoberto. Am I pronouncing your name right, Dagoberto?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you for sharing that. Yes, self-motivation, definitely the act of pushing oneself. Anybody else has any other comments that they want to share? Don't be shy. It's a free space.
I feel like oh, hi everyone. I
I
feel
can
like
vote.
self-motivation is you can give others motivation the way you're feeling and give them positive ideas and just thoughts for them to be motivated too.
Okay. Yeah, motivating others. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone else want to share? Okay. So self-motivation is definitely encouraging yourself to continue making progress towards a goal even when it feels challenging. And as well, like as Kimberly say, if you're able to motivate yourself, then you definitely have that to motivate others. So going with that, how do you guys motivate yourself? Does anyone want to share how, when you're feeling down or don't feel like you can do something, how do you motivate yourself?
I try to have positive thoughts throughout the day. Like for example, my goal is to stay healthy and reach my goal. So I tend to motivate myself to reach that goal and where I want to go. So I always tell myself like keep on pushing because that's motivation. So I feel like like I have in my home screen, I have like a quote that says keep on pushing, every day is a little bit closer. And that's something that I love to, to read too, because it's something that motivates me.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Kimberly. Yeah, staying positive and I love that little reminder because sometimes at times we forget ourselves. So having those little reminder to keep pushing ourselves. Thank you for sharing that, Kimberly. Anyone else? How do you motivate yourself? Anyone else want to share? For those that came in, anyone want to share how you motivate yourself? I guess I start. Just like Kimberly, the way I motivate myself, it's by giving myself a little reminder, reading like positive quotes, viewing other people's like especially depending what my goals are. So if like eating health to being other people's like Instagram page where they're, motivating each others or like YouTube page as well. So just keeping stuff to keep positive thoughts in my mind instead of negative thoughts. So that's how I motivate myself. Does anyone want to share how they motivate themselves? Remember, this is a free space and we're here to, talk amongst each other. All right, so we move on then. So the psychology of self motivation. So with self motivation, everything comes down to like to psychology. So first, when you want to motivate yourself, you want to know clearly what is it that you want. So what is it that you want to like achieve? What's your target goal? Do you want to be, healthy? Do you want to pass like all your grades, get your get your associate degree, get your bachelor's degree? Do you want to find a job? There's so many things that you know, you're set yourself to do and that you want to do. So you want to know exactly what is it that you want and have a clear picture of it. And then second, you want to access that emotion and the meaning that you're attaching to that. So the meaning that you're attaching to those goals that you want to set and what it means to you. And when we talk about this, assessing the emotion when you feel that you don't achieve something. So like what, especially when it comes to like failing something, I wanted to ask any of you guys, and this is an open question if anybody want to come up and say, so when you face like a setback, do you tell yourself that you're not good enough? Does anybody feel that way? Do they tell themselves that they're not good enough when you have a certain target goal you want to feel it and that you don't want to set? Please unmute yourself. And
I can't really say that I tell myself I'm not good enough, but yeah, there has been a point that I felt that way.
okay, and how do you pick
Yeah.
yourself back up?
Just like how I said, like I just try to think positive thoughts, like, you know, not everything's supposed to go as the way like we want. But one way I could say, just try not to, or just try harder. Try harder on what you want or what you were trying to achieve. Trying harder is very important too.
I love that. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Yes, definitely. Keep going. Keep that momentum going. You know, if you fail, pick yourself back again and do something different. You know, see what you did wrong. Thank you for sharing that, Kimberly. Anybody else want to share the question? You know, if you have a setback, you know, do you tell yourself that you're not good enough? Do you fill yourself with negative emotions?
Sometimes, yeah, I just sometimes when something bad happens, I just tend to just, how do I say this? Uh, I feel drained essentially.
Mhm.
You know,
And like, how do you pick yourself back up?
most of the times I just let it run its course. I just move on, just accept it.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Um, yeah, definitely. You know, one of the things when you're setting something like that, I know, like Kimberly mentioned, you know, that you may not tell yourself you're not good enough like that, but other may feel like that in your head. You know, you have that little voice that's like, you know, telling you different stuff. But um, everything that counts is how you pick yourself back up. So if you know how to bring yourself back up and not let those emotions and those negative feelings take over, you know, you're definitely in the path of like self-motivating yourself. So one of the things to ask, like 3 things to ask yourself, especially like when you are motivating yourself, is think of like, you know, can you do it? It's like if you have a target goal, can you do that target goal? Is that goal obtainable? You know, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you are going to fail because you don't have either all the resources there or haven't done the research. So part of that, like, you know, part of finding a target, it's thinking of that. Also, like, will it work with whatever goal that you are, you know, obtaining? Is it going to work at the end? And also at the end, will it be worth it? It's all that hard work that you do. Once you achieve that, is that going to be worth it? Is that going to make you happy? So all these things is, you know, it's all about thinking about goals and motivating yourself to achieve those goals and to reach those goals. For those that just came in, if you could guys just put your name on the chat, so I could take attendance later on, that would be great. Thank you. Now, continuing, it's like, you know, factors that contribute to your self-motivation. Definitely your self-esteem. Your self-esteem, you know, how confident you are and how do you feel about yourself. Your desire to succeed, how badly do you want it? Like how bad, you know, do you want to achieve this goal? So that is definitely something that drives your self-motivation. Willpower. Now, willpower is very, very strong because not everyone has the willpower. Sometimes I don't have the willpower to say no, especially like I said, if I want to if I'm in my journey and self-motivating myself into eating like healthy, and you have like all other stuff surrounding you that it's not like, it's unhealthy, but you still want to do it. So willpower is definitely something that's really strong that you have to have. And it's hard for others to have that willpower. And, if you have it, like, that's awesome. That's really good for you. Continue having the willpower in what you have. Another thing is mental stability. So, we want to have sort of like a clear mind, like clear mind, peaceful head. And, I know we all can get stressed at time because there's things that stress us out, but being able to know how to handle that stress when it comes in, and know how to sort of like dissolve it, like not push it away because it's going to be there, but just know how to like handle those emotions. um that's part of having mental stability. So you just want to have a clear mind, because if you have all this stuff that it's like, fogging and sort of like blocking yourself from achieving your goal and what you want to accomplish, it sort of like makes you lack those motivation that you may have. Family. Family is definitely a big factor in self-motivation. I mean, I would include like friends within family as well, because sometimes we have those close friends that are so close to us that they are family. But that is definitely a big factor, and especially that support system that we need, because at times, yes, we could be our own cheerleader, and that's what we want to do, be our own, but we want also those other people that are part of us, that are, friends, family, even like co-workers or like classmates. We want them to also be a support system and be motivated. So that definitely, it's a big contribution to your self-motivation, because if you have negativity all around you, then you're going to feel negative and not want to move on or do anything. And then goals, we, as self-motivation, at times it's all about goals. It's all about knowing what your goals are, knowing your short-term goals, your long-term goals, and being able to know, like I said, ask yourself if you're able to achieve them, seeing if they're measurable, because you don't want to have a goal that it's not, measurable, you're not able to obtain it, and then you fall yourself back in that hole of like, oh, I'm never going to achieve anything. I'm not, that negativity hole. So you want to make sure that your goals are achievable, because they are definitely a big factor when it comes to self-motivation. Is there anything else that maybe, that could be a factor to self-motivation that you guys don't see it here? This is open to conversation. So please, like, is there anything that you feel like, oh, it's missing from this here?
I think just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes once you get the ball rolling, you could keep the momentum going. But what stops us from starting is thinking instead of just acting. So I think just not overthinking things to an extent.
Okay, that's true. Like procrastinating, right?
Right. That's the one example. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Danny. Yes, procrastination. God, we all have it, and it's the worst. Um, but you're going back to like procrastination and thinking, you wanna explore that and explore, like, I read something that procrastination sometimes it's something that you may have like a feeling attached to it, like an emotion that's attached, that is sort of like stopping you from continuing. So at times, we don't want to deal with it. That's how we procrastinate. We procrastinate a lot and, stop from thinking. So that's a whole different thing to discuss, procrastination. But yeah, that definitely holds us back from motivating ourselves. Thank you for that, Danny. Anything else? Anyone else want to share? Another factor that you may not see here that contribute to self-motivation? Okay, so we move on then. These are 4 factors that we're exploring more that contribute to self-motivation. And we start the first one with self-confidence and self-efficiency. So according to Albert Bandura, who's a psychologist, he defines self-efficiency as a belief in our own ability to succeed and our own ability to achieve the goals that we set for ourselves. So basically, it's just like holding accountability for yourself. So a part of like, motivating and self-motivating, it's holding ourselves accountable. Because if we don't achieve something, yes, this may be other factors that can, contribute to that, or, stuff that can stop you. But then at the end, it's also on yourself, on how badly you did not push yourself or did not want to push yourself. So, for things like this, so part of motivation, is to be self-confident in your ability. So you want to think about the achievement in your life. So if you think about the achievement that you have accomplished so far, like in your life, like it's good to write things down. Because when you see it there in a vision board, you see it so placed written down, you feel proud and you want to continue, and you want to continue that momentum of like establish, like, okay, so I did this, I graduated. Next step, I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna go to like 4-year school and get my bachelor. Next step, I wanna, continue in that, in, this field and get a job. So that whole momentum of keep going. And if you write like these things down of things that you wanna achieve, you sort of are building yourself that motivation there. You also want to examine your strengths, because we all have strengths and weakness, like, especially when, you want to do something, like, for example, I can go over, like, let's say you want to, healthy eating. And so what you want to examine, what are your strengths there? Your strength is like, okay, I'm able to cook, so you could cook healthy. And then like, think about like your weakness, one of my weaknesses that I'm bad at shopping, like food shopping. So then, you want to sort of, okay, how can I get that strength, or get that weakness into a strength? So you could ask a friend, somebody, that knows that, that that likes to eat healthy, and you could ask them to go grocery shopping with you. So they'd be able to help you and be able to pick up things that are healthy eating instead of like bad eating. So like examining like those strengths that you have in anything, any goal that you want to accomplish, and then also knowing like what are your weaknesses are, and if you're able to sort of come out with a way that you're gonna, get those weaknesses and turn them into strength. A good thing to do is to see how others view your strengths. So I'll give like an example. Like, let's say you working at a job. It's always good to ask your your supervisor or boss, like, how do they view your strengths? Like, what sort of strength do they think that you have? Because at times, we get so much into ourselves, into our head, and we don't see like what we're good at. We can have that little voice once again that tell us like, oh, no, you're not really good at this, you're not. So you're not really knowing all the strength and all the work that you get. So if you have others, tell you like what you're good at, then you sort of have like a confirmation, like, okay, so I am good at this. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna motivate myself to get better at this, and I'm gonna motivate myself to explore more my weakness and learn how to make myself better. And then once again, going back to setting like achievable goals. So, when you know your strengths and what you're good at, you want to make sure that you're going to have goals that you are going to achieve. And, goals that are measurable. And meaning when I say measurable, giving yourself goals. I give myself to get straight A in the next semester, or, improve my writing within like 2 months. So those are like measurable goals, things that that you're going to be able to obtain to get to the higher goal, like your long-term goals. As well as like seek out mentors. This is part of sort of making yourself more like self-confidence, and making making yourself a little, just, more shaping yourself to be better, by seeking mentors, seeking others. As EOF, you guys can, you have your own counselors, or even like your staff member that you can seek off, and speak to. There's also EOF students who are already, like, let's say if, a grade higher than you, that you're able to like reach out to them if you have any questions, and be able to mentor you through this time, through school. So just seeking out people who are going to be, positive in your life, and who are also going to provide something, in your life, within your career, in your professional career, or just life itself, something positivity. So it's always good to seek out mentors. Another contributes positive thinking. So this is definitely one of my favorite quotes. Your life today, it's the result of your attitudes and choices in the past. Your life tomorrow will be the result of your attitude and the choices you make today. I want to ask, does anybody disagree or agree with this quote?
Yeah, it's a strong quote.
I'm sorry, Danny?
I said, yeah, it's a strong quote.
So do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree. I saw, I'm sort of familiar with the quote that's like, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it.
Yes,
That kind of reminds me of that one. They go very hand in hand.
they definitely do. Yeah, it's all about yourself, how you view that situation. It's gonna lead you to what will happen next. Anyone else has any comment? Thank you for that, Danny. Anyone else disagree with this quote?
I think I agree with it. The way you act does in a way affect your whole day, especially if you are having a bad day, where instead of, I suppose, trying to get over it and look past it, just stick to it, your whole day just gets ruined. So yeah, I feel like it just makes sense.
Yes, I definitely agree with you with that. If you, and it's okay, it's human, it's human nature to, something bad happen, we feel like, oh, my day is ruined, that's it, I can do. And then when you go with that attitude, of course, everything else is just gonna feel like draggy and bad. So yeah, definitely I agree with you, Dagoberto. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Well, my boyfriend always says tomorrow's a brand new day. So whatever happens today, it doesn't matter tomorrow because tomorrow's the past. So
It's
every
true. Hello, Natasha, I lost you there.
yeah, sorry, that every day is literally a brand new day. So like the sun is up, it's a brand new day, like it's a different date. Don't worry about what happened. So for him, it's like I understand it says your choices today is a result of what happens from like the past, but for him, his motivation is that already happened. Today's fresh, brand new. It's not written, it's unwritten. So that's how we see it.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, definitely. It's, if you continue with what happened the next day, then your mindset is still going to be the same. So I get where coming with that. It's a brand new day. It's like it is starting new, because you could change your attitude and your view of life today, instead of reflecting on what happened in the past. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you guys for sharing all that. So with positive thinking, you want to be aware of your thoughts. And when it comes to motivating yourself, you want to know, like, be in a like peaceful state of mind, basically. And you want to replace your negative thoughts with positive thinking, because negative thoughts will always bring us down, and will keep us in that mode and not keep us like want to keep going. You want to create a vivid picture once again of your goals. So when you're feeling like, when you're feeling down and don't feel like, okay, I don't think I could do it today, just going back to how you're creating either it's always good to create like a vision goal, like I was saying before, making a list of things that you want to accomplish and being able to just view that and view that list and see that list and replace those negative thoughts to your positive thinkings, because when you see that and you see everything that you have accomplished, you know that you're gonna make it. You know that you can do it. You want to create positive statements. I know Kimberly at the beginning of the session, she said how she has, different quotes to go by. So those are positive statements. So if you're able, to create those things, and every time that you wake up in the morning, or when you're feeling like you're gonna draining yourself into like negative thoughts, just sort of like view those positive statements to keep you up and to keep you moving and to bring back the motivation back.
It's sort of like the same. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, continue. I'm sorry. It's
It's
okay.
sort of it's sort of the same thing on how like you surround yourself and who you surround yourself. Like if you surround yourself with someone negative, then you're gonna sort of tend to start being negative instead of positive. Same thing, like so yeah, so it's like someone does something, you're not really gonna want to copy them, but if you continue surrounding yourself, it's gonna go that way.
Yes, thank you for that, Kimberly. Very, very true. Yes, that's definitely coming up on it. But yeah, like your surrounding, it's really big, and like you say, you want to surround yourself with people who are positive or want positive things for you. You don't want someone who's always negative and bringing you down, because then you start thinking those thoughts yourself, like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I won't do it. And it's all because other person are putting thoughts in your head. So yeah, so by doing that, you want to practice like positive thinkings, and practicing the practicing the positive thinking is being aware of your thoughts, being aware when those thoughts start coming in, like, oh, and then like myself, I'll speak of myself, like what I do, like when I feel like those thoughts are coming in, I sort of like backtrack it, like, wait, why am I feeling? I start asking myself, why am I feeling this way? What brought it up? So I could be able to, see what happened and like handle the situation. So if those feelings comes from like a conversation that you have with someone, then you start thinking, you start like backtrack, okay, is this person want the best interest in my life, or maybe they're going through something that they're putting that on you. So it's a lot of things. So I always say, like, when when you are being aware of your thoughts, sort of like backtracking, where is this sort of, if you can, if you're able to, where is this coming from, like that, you be able to know where it comes from, and not feel like that again. And like with that going, like replacing your negative thoughts with positive thought, by creating positive statements. If you're not, you could always, even like watching a positive video or like listening to music that's gonna lift you up. But those are ways that you can practice positive thinking. Does anybody want to like elaborate another way that they practice positive thinking when they're feeling like down or like everything is just crashing? Does anyone meditate? No, I don't meditate either. I want to, but I don't know. I have too much thoughts in my head to meditate. So, all right, moving on. So another factor is, back again to your goals, and with your goals, you want to be like focused on it and looking for my notes. Part of the goals, we have like locked goal setting theories. And when you're writing your goals, you want to make sure that they have clarity. So make sure that your goals are clear and specific. And once again, I know I keep mentioning this word, measurable. You don't want to have any goals, because at least if they're measurable, makes it easy a little bit to obtain. make sure that your goals are challenged. So give yourself goals that are difficult, but not so difficult in a way that you can reach them because you don't want to fall into like, I can't do this, like I'm never gonna get this. But sort of like challenge yourself at least little by little, like, okay, I'm gonna do this in this week. Okay, you did it. Now challenge yourself, give yourself a little bit harder. Commitment, definitely commitment. Your goals should be attainable and realistic, which is very important. You don't want, a goal like I'm going to become a billionaire like a year. I mean, if it can happen, it can. But you want to make sure that your goals are realistic and that you're going to be able to obtain them. Feedback. So measure your progress. See like how you're doing. If your goal is to, one of your goals is to get like A's in your classes. Feedback during midterms. See yourself. Look at your grades. See how you're doing. See where you did wrong. Then come up with a solution. Like, do you need more time to study? Maybe sort of looking at your time management, or maybe you need tutoring. So just being able to like give yourself feedback on your goals, like that, you be always be on the progress and see how everything is going. And then tax complicity. So you want to make sure that your goals are not becoming too overwhelming, which another thing, when this starts happening, this is when we also start losing motivation, because then all the negative thoughts start coming in like, oh, I can't do this. I don't know if I'm ever going to achieve these goals. Why did I even like try doing this? So you want to make sure that you don't overwhelm yourself, because you don't want to feel like that. And if they are feeling overwhelming, just go back and review your goals again. And, like I said, see if it's too difficult. If it was too difficult, maybe put it down a notch, seeing something else, maybe clarify your goals better. Let somebody else know about your goals. One thing about letting other people know about your goals, it's because they could hold you accountable for it. So if you're not reaching your goals, just by having other people know them, they be able to like ask you a question, how you doing? How you doing with your goal? What's the progress? And that keeps you motivated to like, oh my God, I gotta finish this goal and I gotta do this. So sharing your goals with this actually is always a good thing as well. And the last thing is to make sure that you have a good environment. So I know that we spoke about like surrounding yourself with people that want the best for you. So like with your environment, this is like only a factor that's external. So you want to make sure that you remove any like distraction, anything that can distract you from motivating yourself. Like I said, any goal, for example, wanting to eat healthy, you want to make sure that you remove like your junk food. You don't need that there. Those are distraction that is keeping you from reaching what you need to reach. You want to remove any toxicity, and if you have like any like within friends or family that you feel like that are not good, not I want to say good for you, but don't have the best interest in yourself or not applying anything good for you, then you maybe want to sort of like check your friends out and see if they're if they're good for you, if they're good for you to keep, if they have the best interest for you. So removing any toxicity from like your environment, it's always good, and it will clear your head up. And you want to create a positive environment, and by doing this, by removing any like distraction, toxicity in your life, which I find understandable, it can be hard to do, but you want to create a space around you and a positive environment that's gonna help you like motivate yourself and help you be your own cheerleader. And then balance your work and leisure time. If you're a person that's always like going out or working a lot, or even like over schooling yourself too much, you want to be able to balance that like work life and like school life, so you could create some space for you, because sometimes we need that self-care, because if you don't have that self-care, then you're not going to be able to sort of to motivate yourself. You're not going to be able to keep going. So you want to have that balance between that. Does anyone, want to share anything like part of maybe that environment that you feel that have missed out that can help you with your motivation? Anything that to remove from your environment or creating a positive environment around you?
Um, I think the friends in around your environment should also count,
Mhm.
considering how most of the time most people feel alone, and when they have somebody, it can affect their life positively if said person is positive.
Yeah, it's yeah, very true. That was the like, I mean, it's if you feel alone and you have a friend, but you want to make sure like the people have the best interest in you, because they could just drag you down with them as well too. So very true. Thank you. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's tricky when if your closest, for example, your family are toxic.
Mhm.
The only thing you could really do at that point is if you've already tried, just to distance yourself. You know, any sort of rebellion or disrespect isn't gonna help. But the best you could really do is just um, disconnect yourself so you're not at least emotionally hurting yourself as well as mentally.
Yeah, wow, that's very true, Danny. Thank you for that. Yeah, like I said, it's hard when you are, in an environment that it is toxicity, especially like when it comes to family. It's like, how do you get out of that? Um, and it's hard. Like I don't even have, an answer to that. And like you say, distancing yourself and which just can be hard, but maybe finding sort of a distraction from that toxicity if you are in a type of that in a place like that. A distraction could be like a job or school when you're spending most of your time there than spending at home. But it is hard. It definitely is hard when it comes to family, and if you live in an environment that does not support you, it could be very tough to get out. Thank you for that, Danny. Anyone else want to share? I know we just have more than Danny and Dagoberto here. So anyone else want to elaborate or maybe like speak on how they motivate themselves? For those that came in a little late. Okay. So this is like definitely a quote. One of my favorite quote that I like is by Tony Robbins. It's sort of like a life coach. Self-motivation is often difficult because it comes from you, which is very true. If you don't take care of the underlying issues that keep you from making the progress, you can fall back on blaming others for your failures. In some cases, can rely on external factors and friends for motivation, but at the end of the day, you're the one who has to put in the work. By digging deep and learning more about yourself, what holds you back and what drives you forward, you can clear the path to progress. By learning early on how to self-motivate and stay on track, you'll ultimately experience greater successes sooner. So how does this quote make you feel like? Do you agree with it or you disagree with it? Any comments?
Can you repeat the last part you said? On the quote,
Oh, it says, okay, by digging deeper and learning more about yourself, what holds you back and what drives you forward, you can clear the path to progress. By learning early on how to self-motivate and stay on track, you'll ultimately experience greater successes sooner.
I feel like, well, I could say about me, I feel like I'm learning about myself more and more the way I'm getting, the more I get older, and just see how I view life and the way life is. There has been points where I could look back on the things I've done and not really like it. More that I feel like I'm more mature and I'm starting to, you know more of life. But I feel like like this world, we just live and learn on how more we grow as a person. But yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing, Kimberly. Yes, definitely. Like, growing up, it's all about learning from your mistakes, and continue and try not to make those mistakes again. So yes, definitely. Anybody else want to share? Do, with this quote, do you agree with it? Do you disagree, or you want to share anything?
Uh, I agree because uh, it's- in order to accept yourself and figure out your flaws and strengths, I feel like is a good step forward of maturity and pushing yourself forward because not many of us know who we are, or many of us could be lost. And understanding that and figuring out why could help many of us on a good path, I feel.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Dagobert. So yeah, like one thing that stood out, like understanding your underlying issues, which is hard for everyone. Not, not everyone can, take care of their underlying issues, without, especially with themselves, they may need help from others. But if you do take care of your underlying issues, whether anything, you're able to, like you said, make progress. And that's what self-motivation is all about. It's finding what's stopping you from continue to do it, to achieving things, to continue for, getting those goals. And it's hard. It really is. It's hard. But if you're able to like be your own cheerleader and sort of know your issues and know, I hate the word issues though, but know your underlying problems, and you're able to progress more and develop as a person, growth basically. Anyone else want to share, about this poll, like if you agreed, disagree, anyone else? I know we have at least a few people here. Anyone, want to even speak about, like, I know I asked the first question in the beginning, like, how do you motivate yourself?
I was gonna say, Tony is really good. If you're ever down on motivation, you could probably just look up any of his speeches or quotes, and that should probably get you going for the day.
Mhm.
Uh, which is another thing too. Sometimes if you aren't feeling so good, just look up a motivational video, and hopefully by the end of that, you'll get up and running.
Yes, thank you, Danny. Yes, very, yeah, that's what I do. When I'm feeling like, oh man, I'm feeling sort of like down, like I have no motivation today. I love reading this quote, and like I said, I always like YouTube, like, things, or like listen to my favorite song to like pick me up and like, okay, I got this. So yes, definitely, Danny. Looking for things that are gonna motivate you. Anyone else want to share?
Music and Starbucks.
Music and Starbucks. Definitely both at the same time.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Natasha. Coffee always, yes, definitely. The caffeine motivates. Anyone else? The floor is open.
What was the question? Sorry.
Well, the question was, if you could see the quote, if you agree with it, or how do you motivate yourself, Caroline?
Um, honestly, for motivation, I tend to like put my mind like working out. I listen to my music and I also do some painting on the side. Not a good painter, but I do what I could do, even if it's
I
stick
felt
figures.
like I was talking because I do the exact same things that you just said too.
See, I'm not the only one.
Thank you both, thank you both ladies for sharing. That's a new one, like, painting. Yeah, like maybe when you're feeling like down, just doing something that you enjoy doing to pick you back up. And it's peaceful. And you know what? Like I mentioned before, I know meditation and but that could be a form, meditation is supposed to be concentrating, but at time we can, but when you're painting, that's a form of like meditating within yourself and just you and the canvas.
Yeah, I can't like the whole meditation thing, like, because I suffer from anxiety and everything. So when my doctors like tell me like they recommend that, and I was like, yeah, I can't do it. I just can't stand the silence. So when I like paint and everything, I just like, have my music blasting and I just start like painting, doing whatever, like look up stuff that I could like do for fun, and I do whatever comes to mind and just flow with it.
Well, I mean, thank you for sharing that. But yeah, that like I said, to me that's a form of meditating. Because like when you just focus, your mind is just focused on that and it's clear. It may not be quiet, but it's the way of, clearing your head out. So you're right. Thank you, Caroline. Anyone else want to share? Well, thank you all for being here, and for those who share your story and share your example and how you motivate yourself. I hope you guys took something from here. And like many other of you like mentioned, like Danny, if you're ever feeling down, talk to someone or looked at YouTube for like motivation tip or like speeches on how to like motivate yourself, and bring yourself back again to who you truly are. Um, I just want to say for those that didn't, if you could please just write your name on the chat so I could take attendance. But other than that, thank you so much for all being here.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Natasha.
for
Thank you so much.
hosting this meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Great day, guys.
Yeah.
Wait, stop screaming. I have a question.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with this. I have a meeting with you coming up for the summer classes. I just wanted to know how many classes am I allowed to take per session?
You know what? That is a good question. I know it's to Mr. Knight, are you here? No? I will find out and I will answer you when we meet, okay?
Okay, yeah, because I'm not able to make my schedule, but I can pick the ones that are planned already.
Mhm.
And I picked the ones that were virtual because the pandemic and I have my baby and I can't just, go in with my with my kids. So I picked the 3 remote and I don't know if I could take 3 in one summer session because I didn't
Oh,
want to do both. I wanted to just do one.
Yeah, I
Pretty
don't,
sure
I don't
two.
think you may take 3, but you can take 2. I think the max is 2, but I'll double check because I think 3 might be too much since it's very short.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll double check and when we meet, I'll let you know. Okay, Natasha?
All right. Thank you.
I have Mr. Knight as my counselor. I'm looking into summer classes, and he said 2 is the minimum, I believe, for each summer to take. Like
Thank
you
you.
wouldn't recommend it since it's like since it's like 15-week course stuck all stuffed into 1 month. So
It's true, especially depending what class you're taking. Yeah. Thank you, Caroline.
you're welcome.
Natasha,
Thank
who's
you.
your counselor, Mr. Nye or Miss T?
Mr. Lowe.
Oh, Mr. Lowe. So just send them a quick email real quickly, just to double check it, because your major, like Miss Maria said, your major may require something differently or maybe permission. So just to be on the safe side, just shoot them a quick text about that, okay?
Okay, I already scheduled my meeting with him, but he sent me an email to make a meeting with Miss Maria.
Oh, okay.
I'll ask him and I'll get back to you. But I think Caroline said, I think it's two, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself, and they won't allow you to take that. At times they have summer 1 and summer 2. So, but I'll double check for you and I'll let you know, Natasha.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was a good outcome.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't see because I couldn't see the chat either, because when I record, I only
Mhm.
have I take everybody off the camera.
Yep.
I really
Oh,
can't.
I like that. I like that. Not a lot of people do that, but I like that. I actually took attendance for you. I already added people on involved. So I'm just typing up the email right now to send you the list. You had 14 students.